Hello guys, Gladiator Bricks here. I was going to take the time to count all the minifigures I have, but then I realized I have over quite a few in just pieces. I mean, I have a huge case of just pieces, minifigure parts and pieces. See? As well as this case. Lego minifigures entirely. So I decided not to count them. No, I decided to talk about Lego minifigures entirely, the history of them. How long ago did Lego start making Lego minifigures? I forget the time, but I do know Lego has been out longer than you think. It's been out for quite a while. In fact, the first Lego sets, brick sets, were actually minifigureless. There was no minifigures. Then Lego began to think, you know what, let's start making Lego minifigures. Now, I don't have any of the first versions. That is something I would love to have gotten my hands on with some of the original Lego minifigures. Want to hear something interesting? Go online. They're expensive. The originals are expensive. Impossible to buy. Because nobody will sell them for less than $1,000. So it's kind of impossible to get the original Lego minifigures. Now, I'm not talking about the ones with the movable arms and legs. I'm talking about one that's a solid piece. The original Lego minifigure was only 3 parts entirely. This was before the movable parts were added to a Lego minifigure. You see, it was pretty much like this. The legs were unmovable. Basically what the minifigure was actually just 0 movable parts. It only had a head, and the head was usually blank, but you could put a hat on. Then later on, Lego began experimenting, and they started coming out with newer minifigures. And then finally, they came out with the minifigure we're used to. Now, I don't know the years, because I don't have a Lego minifigure book I could get information out of. But then they came out with a Lego minifigure design. Sorry if I picked up a Stormtrooper. I didn't have any old minifigures from that series. Actually, I think I have something like an old cop or something from that series. Yeah, I got an old cop. Here we go. I got an old cop. Police officer, I mean. Stop, in the name of the law. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You give up the right to remain silent. Anything you say will and can be used against you. Thank you. Yeah. I actually like the originals, kind of. Because look, even the originals had some incredible detail. It's an incredible detail in my opinion. Back in the container. Of course, then they came out with the Lego Pirates theme later on, as well as some other themes, and I think some of the most coolest Lego minifigures that ever came out were, I think the first Lego minifigures that were like a major motion picture, the first that ever came out was Star Wars. That was the first license Lego got to make. I think that was the first time Lego had license. So when they created, and of course, according to a friend of mine, Lego permanently has bought the license from Star Wars. For Star Wars, they're the only ones allowed to make brick-based toys. Which means, if you guys are worried about Star Wars, about Lego ever quitting and making Star Wars, they won't. They are already the only one licensed to make it. Mega Bloks can't buy the license. Because Star Wars has already signed a petition pretty much that states Only Lego can make Star Wars. I hope Marvel signs a petition as well as DC. That way Mega Bloks can never get the license, steal the license, because Mega Bloks did some of the most terrible jobs. I mean, I do like the Mega Bloks Marvel Superheroes line. I just don't like Mega Bloks. Yuck. So, the Marvel Superheroes line, I think, and plus Mega Bloks never came out with a video game. With video games, which was pretty rude of them. I mean, Mega Bloks needs to come out with a video game. They need to get their A game up. But of course, there would have been a chance to get a Mega Bloks video game. There was a Mega Bloks video game coming out. But they quit it. So, anyways, that's it for today. Comment and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the history of Lego minifigures. And I hope you are okay with me talking about different licenses and other stuff. I thought you guys would enjoy me talking and telling you some stuff. Anyways, that's it for today. Comment and subscribe.